I got my 10 centimeter IMUSA, my first one ever yet, in the mail.
Right, I think I saw them waiting for you, and you're full of crap.
In the mail today. Pretty excited about that. A lot of guys were asking me how many ounces of fuel it took to do coffee in my pot here, but I want to show you before I do the hair. That fits right inside of my 10 centimeter IMUSA, so that's I think might be my new cook kit. It gives me the two pots, the 10 centimeter IMUSA, and just take two hands just a second. Pretty snug fit inside this thing. And my Heineken coffee pot, which I use for either making coffee . One second, lost an O-ring there. Alright, sorry, I lost my O-ring there for a second, and I lost battery life, so I'm back. So I think I'm going to keep my O-rings inside of this from now on, so that when I pull everything out, they don't come tumbling out. Get my old sticky lid out of there. My pot, starting to get a little puckered there, but I got plenty of those laying around. So anyways, this will make a nice little kit to carry. But I also found this in the basement, so I can measure how many ounces. One side here shows ounces. This one, yeah, there's 1 ounce right there. I can measure how many ounces I use when I do a pot of coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and get a pot of coffee set up here. Oops, almost lost my stove. It rolled away. It's so light. Oh, and there's the rest of my coffee percolator. So, explanation. Somebody asked how it was done. This is the bottom of a soda can. Very similar to the bottom of a beer can, but a soda can. Regular Coke can. Just trimmed out, popped out, hole punched in it. 3 little holes drilled in it. This is actually what fixed, these 3 holes is what fixed the over-percolating problem that I was having. So that was my latest modification to this. Copper pipe with a flared end. I simply stuck a screwdriver in and just kept twisting until it flared out. That allows me to run this up on here like this and just drop it down. Keeps it from coming off the bottom. And then I just drop 2 O-rings down on top of that. 2 of these black O-rings. Don't ask me what size, I don't know. I guess whatever size copper pipe you get, that's the size O-ring you need. I may have described it in my previous videos, I don't know. Alright, I'm going to put this together, I'll be right back. Alright, before I go too far, I want to show you what I had done here. I added 2 O-rings to the bottom. That helps keep the base a little stable, adding 2, and it also doesn't need to, but it gives me a spare in case I lose one while I'm camping. I got 1 up here, and this is for the basket to sit in. Let me show you how the basket goes on here. This is the basket, and as I mentioned, this is just a wetting tin that I've drilled a lot of holes in. 1 big hole, holes around the side. I've tried many different things because it kept overflowing. I don't know that these were necessary. These probably were, but finally found something that worked. And all my holes are as small as I could go. Actually, I did these with a push pin, I think. And these with a push pin, so I wouldn't make a big hole. And then I drilled these with a 16-inch drill. So I tried to keep them as small as possible. And they just rest down there. I may not be down far enough yet. Usually there's a mark. Yeah, it's probably going to end up going down to there, because you can see that wear mark right there where the thing sits all the time. So we'll see. So the lazy way to find out is just to put it in. But I go ahead and put the top O-ring in. And this is the one I've forgotten in the past. And if you go to pull the thing out and you don't have it on there, it won't pull the whole thing up. It just pulls the basket out and leaves the copper in. So let me get this set here. Get back. Takes a minute. It takes 2 hands actually. So maybe not. Yeah, it's gonna take 2 hands. Be right back. Alright, once I get this set, and it does take a minute to get it just to the right height. I really need to mark that by scratching it or something so it's permanent, but I haven't. I just kind of try it in here and see where it fits at. And that kind of wobbles on that top bubble down below, you know. you've got a round surface going onto a round surface. So what really holds it in place is the top. And then this is the top of the one wedding tin. And these wedding tins had a plastic round top so you could see into them. And they were both identical in size. I don't know why, but they were. So I just punched them both out with a razor. And they popped out. And then I'll show you real quick. This is kind of the coolest part of the whole thing here. If I can get something where you can see. So this, if I can get it apart, I haven't taken it apart probably since I had it. Probably will never get it back together either. It looks like it needs a little cleaning. This part right here is a replacement coffee percolator. You find them in your hardware store. So let's get this back together. Let's see, that goes in there, that goes in there. I should back up a little bit so you can see this. That goes like, oh, that's wrong. That goes like that, that goes like that. Or something. And then this goes in here. That didn't work so well. There we go. Once you get it twisted together, it kind of lines up because it's all the right size. So I just got to kind of line it up a little bit. And then get a nice tight screw on there.
I was surprised. I don't like surprises. Oh my goodness! What's your extra moment in time?
Alright.
It's supposed to not real.
Back together again. Let's make sure it all works still. Alright, so it's all together, ready to go. Well, not together. I've got water in there, and to do this right, you got to get the water just in the star area of this pot. And the reason is because the basket, you'll see, obviously sits up a little bit higher than that because it sits on that round base. But the bottom of your basket sits right about in there somewhere. So you don't want water hitting the bottom of your basket or it can't drip. It wouldn't be drip coffee then. So that's about as much water as you can get in there. And it doesn't need much coffee. I usually put in 1 to 2 teaspoons depending on what kind of coffee mood I'm in. Just a little bit more. So that's the part that varies. You can see some of the grounds do come out. But once it gets percolating, it kind of swells them up and they can't go anywhere. And that's that right there. Now let's try and set that stove up and put some fuel in it and see how much fuel it actually uses. Alright, let me get something to put this on so I don't burn my tabletop. Be right back. Alright, so that's 1 ounce of fuel, measured to the 1 ounce mark, and I'm going to just see how much that actually fits in here. I haven't used this to pour it in yet. And if I recall correctly, I went to there, and about there last time, which is about 3/4 of an ounce. Here, 3/4 of an ounce, yeah, that's 3/4 of an ounce. So we will see. I'm going to seal that so I don't tip it over. Yeah, it's a lot more than I think I had last time, so we may get more than 6 minute boil. I may be able to go with just a little less than that. But we're going to try it and see how well it does. Now last time I didn't put this on here right away. I let it bloom first and then put this on here. But I think this time I'm just going to put it on right away because it actually did a good job with that pre-lighter down below. So we'll light it up, mark the time, 5:42. And we'll see how far we get. We'll be back in a bit. While that's cooking over there, I've been working on getting some dehydrating practice in. I've got these are fruit roll-ups that I was working on. I made 2 batches. There's my second batch coming through now. This is a strawberry pineapple applesauce batch, and then I've got 2 rows of that and 1 row of just apple sliced. This is pretty good consistency. I made about 3 bags of this, and me and my son have already eaten through 1 whole bag of it. So much for making it and holding on to it, but nonetheless. This one here was my first batch, and it was a little unique as I did not puree it in the blender. I just mixed it in a pot. So I took crushed pineapple, applesauce, and I did blend the strawberries. And then I mixed it all together. I didn't blend the pineapples, and you can see the chunks of pineapples kind of stick out a little bit. So it's a little thicker and chunkier. Whereas I don't believe this batch is going to be chunky at all because I pureed the entire thing. So we'll see how it goes. Now this batch took about, I don't know, 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours. And it's pretty good, not too low. You don't want to let this go all the way. If you let it go all the way, it gets a little leathery, and it's not chewy like a fruit roll-up generally is. So you want to stop it before it gets completely dry. It has a little stickiness to your thumb and stuff. If you let it go too long, it loses that texture and goes to the very dry look. So let's see here how we're doing. As I mentioned before, this is really windy, so the wind is too much for it. It blows all around. And might not need to put so much in that outer tray because it does seem to be boiling over the edge, and you can see the wind in my house is not much, but just a little bit, enough to roll it around like that. I love these things, they're delicious. I could eat these all day long. It may not be good for me, but I could eat them all day long. Alright, 5:46 and the outer flame just went out. So now we're just left with the inner fuel. It was burning a lot hotter this time than last time, so I don't know, we'll see. And no percolation yet, so we'll see how long it lasts. Alright, we're still cooking down here. It's been 5:49. We've got percolation going on. I must have missed when it exactly happened, but just recently, because you can still see it's pretty clear. And so we'll say 5:49 just to be on the safe side. And we'll let that run until it runs out and get a time on that and see if it did 6 minutes of percolation this time. Okay, we just hit the 6 minutes of percolating at 5:55. So it's been boiling, or been cooking for a while here from the time it started until now. I gotta check and see what time I actually started, I don't remember. But we've had 6 minutes of percolation. The percolation has come down just a little bit here, but enough still to make it a percolator. So. Alright, it sounded like it just stopped percolating, or stopped rumbling. It's still just slightly percolating, but as you can see, the flame's about dead. There's just a minute of flame underneath there. And we're at 5:57. I think it finally, no, I can't even see it from above, so I'm trusting the camera. There it goes. It's out. 5:57, and it finished percolating. 5:58, just changed. So that's how long it percolated for. And now I'm going to see how much coffee it made in my new IMUSA cup, which I haven't used yet. I'm going to try and grab it down here now. Ouch! That's hot. Very little grounds again, that's nice. And pretty good size. For all you guys who know what a 10 centimeter IMUSA cup looks like. Ooh. Drinking a coffee out of an aluminum pot is never easy. They heat up way too fast. That's why it's good to have the lift guard on them.